Hello, this is Dennis with A1 Telephone Service and Repair, A1 Electronics. You can reach us on the web at www.a1-telephone.com, and you can also reach us at 618-235-6959. Today I want to show you some really cool equipment. Here in the background we have a Western Electric 317, and this is Paul's equipment from MA. And, you know, Paul said something about he was going to send in a little gift, and he sent in a tape gun. And it's a pretty cool tape gun. And it seems like a very nice one because the handle is got some padding on it. And so that was a nice gift that Paul had sent in. And I have done some other work for Paul. He's kind of got a neat project that he's working on. We did some candlestick telephones and bell boxes, and it's for an intercom system that he's going to run throughout his home and some of his outbuildings and barns and stuff like that. So basically this 317 Western Electric is probably going to be in his home, and then he has some candlesticks that are in some outbuildings or barns. And then he also wants to incorporate this little guy here, which is an actual intercom system, and that's what this is. It's made by Couch, and as you can see, it's pretty cool. And out of all the equipment that he's using, none of it's intercom system stuff, but you can use any telephone for an intercom, but this is actual intercom equipment here. So the bell ringer is going to be a little different, and we're going to go ahead and open this up and give you a view of this. We're going to have to troubleshoot this stuff, go through it, make sure everything's working, repair what doesn't work. We're going to try to get away with the original transmitter and receiver because I want him to be using original equipment if possible. Now, if we have to upgrade the transmitters or receivers, we will. Now, there is a crack in the door here, but I've noticed that it's been here a long time. We want to make sure that we have our receive, we have our transmit, that our hook switch is working, but the bells will be, in this case, which is on solenoids here, and it's more of a buzzer type bell situation, and it totally works off a different voltage than a telephone bell, and we'll have to incorporate a little circuit for that and bring the voltage proper from the cranks, because he's going to use the cranks on the bell boxes and the telephone in the back, its crank, to ring all the phones in the circuit. And we want the voltage to be proper going to these solenoids that work differently than a bell ringer and a telephone. So all that has to be incorporated, and we'll get that squared away. But it's a very cool little intercom. I'm going to give you a good look at that. And this is how it came in. Very nice piece of equipment. It does have a switch over here, and they used switches or buttons for different reasons, and we're not going to be concerned with that because it's going to be in an intercom system. He has another receiver capsule here, and he's calling it for spare parts, or, you know, just repair it or whatever, and we'll get into that. Now, the other issue is on his receiver capsule that's on the 317 Western Electric, the threads are stripped, but we have a way that we take care of that. We're going to go ahead and try to use the original equipment. If not, we'll upgrade, but we will repair these threads, and that will, you know, as long as the cap's not taken off too many times after that, he should be okay with it. So I'm not concerned, but it will fall apart. And I want to give you a look at the inside of this, and that's kind of the way it looks. So we'll go ahead and see how this reacts and how well it works. And we may have to upgrade. I want to set it to the side, and we may be able to use it. I want to go ahead and open up the door. Now we know he's already got in a note that the crank, or the magneto, in this unit does not turn. It's frozen, and it just is not going to turn, and we need to take that out and work on it. I want to take some still pictures of our schematic here. Because it has the original schematic in it. Got its solenoids for its bell, and your hook switch. He's got everything in this telephone, basically. So it's a really cool telephone. We need to go through the magneto, find out why that's frozen up, and then we need to start wiring this telephone as if it were going to be in a intercom system. So we're going to take a short break and we'll be right back. Okay, we're back now and finished up with the wooden wall in the background here. And that has been rewired the way we need it wired, and all of our connections have been made. The magneto has been repaired, and so that telephone has been finished up. And so now what we're working on, and we're going to do some final checks on that in a little bit later on in the video. Now what we're working on is the little intercom telephone, and both of these telephones are going to be with some candlesticks and bell boxes, and this is going to be a part of Paul's intercom system that he's running throughout his home and some outbuildings and barn and things like that. So basically what this was an intercom system telephone. And so the solenoids that you see on this intercom system telephone does not have the same ring cycle voltage as a wooden wall telephone or a bell box or an old style telephone that would have a magneto that would ring the bells. And so basically we have to add components to, and I want to go ahead and kind of lift it up and show you, we have to add components to the circuitry here so that we can get the proper ring voltage for our solenoid electromagnet. And we also have installed our modular port so that Paul can simply bring a line cord in through the back and plug right up to this telephone. So we're going to go ahead and plug our line cord in right now. And we have a line out. I want to give you some dial tone. Now this is the original receiver, and the insides to this receiver are original. It's got an original transmitter, and that is original to the equipment. And so we were able to utilize them, and they sound pretty good. So I think they will be usable in the situation of the intercom. So now we could take and hang up our hook switch, but since our bell circuit on our telephones and our dial tone circuit or talk circuit for the intercom system is on two different pair, then what we can actually do, since this telephone is on right now, and I'll give you some dial tone again, what we can do is we can go ahead and ring this telephone. We have it connected to the wooden wall telephone, and we have the bell disconnected that goes to the wooden wall so that you can hear the bell for the little tiny intercom telephone. So we'll go ahead and crank the magneto. And another magneto here I want to connect up. And you'll see that when I crank this magneto, our bells will ring. So we know that there will be some type of indication when somebody cranks the magnetos that are in the circuit. And now our analyzer is ringing the circuit. We'll let that go 2 more times. And now I can go ahead and answer my intercom, and we'll go ahead and give you some dial tone. So now what we want to do, since we had the hook switch out of this little intercom system, put this hook switch back in. So we're going to take a short break and finish that up, and then we're going to come back and do our final checks on Paul's equipment here. So we'll be right back. Okay, we're back, and we are finished up with these 2 intercom telephones. And so basically, we're going to run through a little bit about what went on with the larger 317 wooden wall Western Electric. When this telephone came in the earlier part of the video, we showed that the magneto was locked up, and so that had to be removed and repaired. We also installed a receiver capsule cord in its cloth. We upgraded the receiver inside the capsule, and we also had to upgrade the transmitter. And so we rewired everything the way we needed it wired for this intercom system that Paul's going to install it in. So now we can go ahead and ring the telephone. I want to do that one more time because that was one of the issues. And we can simply open up the telephone and plug in our modular line cord into the port we installed. And what we want to do now is we'll take and call a time and temp number, give it some dial tone. We'll use another telephone.
Good morning. Offenburg St. Clair Auto Mall with 5 new car lines at 1 location in O'Fallon. Offenburg.com. Today is Monday, March 18th. The time is 1:23. Current temperature 45 degrees. Now the Belleville area weather forecast. Occasional rain tonight, temperature in the mid-30s. Mostly cloudy Monday morning, then partly cloudy in the afternoon, highs around 50.
Okay. So we know that the telephones are working now, and we finished up the little intercom system telephone, and on the back of this there is some wiring that's on the back that is original to this couch wooden wall telephone, which is actually an intercom telephone. And so we tried to stabilize that so it doesn't get disturbed. It is in the circuitry, so you wouldn't want to cut any of these wires. And you can also enter the telephone by an original hole that's in the back of it for your line cord. And kind of just give you a little look at this telephone. If you remember in the earlier part of the video, we had a crack that was a stress crack in the wood, and that has been taken care of and stabilized. There was also another crack up underneath the bell, and that has been taken care of. And that gives you a little bit of a look at this telephone. He has some really nice equipment here, and he's going to enjoy this very much. This is Dennis with A1 Telephone Service and Repair, A1 Electronics. You can reach us on the web at www.a1electronics.com. www.a1-telephone.com, and you can also reach us at 618-235-6959. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.